decided to do this video because somebody asked a question as a comment on my video how I record my songs, which I did quite a few years ago now. So the question is, when trying to get a music publisher and licensing your music, do your home recordings have to be perfect? So that is quite questions because I don't know, it's quite a vague question that demands a lot of different answers. So in my opinion, because it's just my opinion, oops, my pen, sorry. So music publisher and licensing. So eventually, so it depends. So music publisher could be that they would pitch your song to some artist. So I think that they usually want the song to be right there, like that there's no more work to do to the song. I actually can understand this because I've worked with a few drafts of a co-writer of mine, and there were drafts where I had heard something in the song, and they were really take. And actually, the second drafts he gave me were clean recordings, but the song was just voice guitar or voice piano, and I would hear something in the song that I would know that I would do something with, but the song was not already in the way that I wanted it. So that for me, to me, the song wasn't perfect in terms of songwriting, arrangement, chords, and everything. So I had to do quite a bit of work on the song, and I think that in the future I would want the song that would be pitched to me to be ready. I think that this is much easier because right away whether it's gonna work or not, instead of working on the song for days and days, and then either it's gonna work or it's not gonna work. So there's a risk right there. I mean, fortunately to me, both songs worked in the end because whatever I heard, I was totally right, and I have that ear and I had that feel with it. But it's easier when the song is already, with already some arrangements. I would think that's what a music publisher is looking for, so that they would know from hearing the song right away. They would know who to pitch it to. So I think that's for pitching, which I'm not really interested in. Then licensing, I think from what I understand and from a little bit of my experience, that can go into commercials or television or I don't know, all kind TV shows or things like this. They say this has to be broadcast quality. So in terms of mixing and mastering, you have to be able to put the song next to any song that's on TV, or I guess broadcast quality is like radio. And that you wouldn't see too much of a difference. I mean, you would know there's a difference, there's a different style or whatever, but in terms of volume and on quality and on equalization and everything, there shouldn't be any difference. So this was something I had understood. That's why I've had mixing engineers, mastering engineers working with me on my songs. Then in terms of do the songs, do the arrangements or the songwriting have to be perfect for television or commercials or whatever? I don't think so, because they often take just a piece of it, and they take a piece. So I think it's really the lyrics that they're looking for, or the style. If it's just a folky ukulele voice and that's what they want for a commercial, then that's totally gonna do it. And then you don't really need to have a full band in the back and some crazy vocal arrangements on it. I think I answered the question. Finally, I think the most important, when you say do my home recordings have to be perfect, they have to be perfect to your ears. So if you know how you want it to sound, you don't set the bar at a certain level, and until you reach that, you'll be happy. In the end, you have to be the one that has to be happy, unless you really work for hire dude that works for a publishing company like every day, just writing stuff, or like a film producer, which I mean from what I've heard and what I heard from other musicians, when you're like when you're writing a score for a movie, and it's like I guess the film director is like telling you, I want this, no, don't do that, do that, as the guy is not even a musician. So I guess you're there usually trying to do stuff, and it's really complicated and really hard, and then in the end, it might not be for sure that they take it. But usually when you get into that much work, you want to make sure you have already a contract signed. I think that's all I wanted to say, and I hope that answered enough. And thanks for watching my silly videos, and remember that I have my songs on iTunes, Amazon, and everywhere else.